excuse me. I thought I'd do another challenge video. I've finished all the normal, like the first legs in the game, the ones that come with the actual game, and I'm starting the DLC legs now. First of which is this one where I am right now, Foundry Dock. So let's get into it. I've caught a few of the boss fish out of there. I think there's probably maybe 7 that I haven't caught. One of which is the boss roach called Bob. If memory serves me, is £3 11 ounces. So with that in mind, I'm going to be using the smaller baits on this one. I'm going to put one bigger bait out there as well, although all my baits, to be fair, are actually quite small. Yeah, I'll have that one on the chopped worm. So we've got red maggot, chopped worm, and this third one I'll go with the caster. I want to be firing them out between like 40 and 50 yards. That's where I've been successful on this lake before. And I'm going to put all my rods fairly close together as well. I mentioned on my last live stream, probably about a week ago, probably about a week ago, that I was actually going fishing later that day. And I did. I stayed overnight. In the video I mentioned I wanted to catch a catfish. And I did. I caught my first catfish. Nothing to be too proud of, because it must have been like from... it must have spawned earlier this year. It was like between 1 and 2 pounds. I didn't even know you could get them that small. What bait was this on? Was this on the chopped worm? Yeah, I think this was the chopped worm that took this one. There we go. I've not even got my third rod out yet, and I've had 2 takes. Nice little common, £13.8. Yeah, the catfish that I caught, it came at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't going to bother weighing it, because like I said, it was only small. But I reckon it was like between 1 and 2 pounds. That's how small it was. Nice little roach. Alright, let's get these rods back out. This is kind of what this lake is like sometimes. You can't get all 3 rods out, because you're getting takes all the time. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's a little bit short, but we'll go with it. That is also a little bit short. What am I doing? Just tighten that line up a little bit on 2. There we go, that's better. Right, I'm going to get some spot out. So, I'll recap. If I can remember them all, because there's been quite a few now. Well, to sort of explain the challenge if you haven't seen any of it before, I'm going through each lake from start to finish, including all the DLC lakes, and I can't move on from that lake until I've caught a boss fish from it. Oh, I've picked up the wrong rod. Yeah, I can't move on from that lake until I've caught a boss fish from it. I'm using maggots and worms throughout the duration of this challenge. I'm doing it on every single lake. I'm using the same tackle box, so I've got the same hooks, the same lines, everything is exactly the same. On the first lake, and the last lake, and every lake in between, it'll all be exactly the same. So on the observatory, I caught a boss roach called Roasted Toasted. Then I went to Lorraine and caught William Lakespear, another boss roach. Then after that it was Digger Lakes, where I caught Platy. Then St. John's, where I actually caught 2 boss fish in that video, because I caught the box common, which was awesome. And then I caught Enormodon straight after, like very next rod that I brought in. Nice leather carp there for £17 . Let's get this rod back out before we see what's on rod 1. Yeah, so then I went on to Preza after that, Preza del Monte Bravo, and I caught wedge, which is a fish that I've been after for a while. It's one that I hadn't caught yet, so I was really chuffed with that. Which is what brings me to here. This is the next lake on the list, the first of the DLC lakes. There is a fish on this lake. I can't think of the name of it. I think it might be MC's, but I'm not quite sure. I think the fish is about 40 odd pounds, but the game's kind of a little bit glitchy, and in your stats it says that it's £93, so it comes out with like over double the weight it's supposed to be, and it does actually fight like a 90 odd pound fish as well when you're fighting it. Gave me a bit of a runabout. Right, let's have a look. Tiny little roach, £1.11. I'll get this rod back out and then I'll have a look at the other fish. See what this one is. Oh, nice. £19 3-ounce mirror. Look at the scales on that, that's awesome. And that was on the casters. See what this one is. I think this was small. Yeah, very small. £1 5-ounce roach. Oh no, came off. Never mind. I'll leave it there just in case something else decides to pick it up. A lot of people on this game, if the rod goes off like that and then the fish drops it, they just reel in and reset the rod. I find quite often that if you just leave it out there, you will get another take on it. So I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes. None of these fish are feeling particularly big. That first one that just came in was probably just another little roach. This one I'm thinking it's like a mid-teens carp. When it can be bothered to come in. Come on. There we go. It's in catch mode now. Let's see if I was right. No, dead wrong. Little orange tench. £4 10 ounces. It fought like a carp though. Which rod was that? Ah, yeah, rod 1. So I'll put that back out. I may have to reset rod 2 in a minute. Now rod 3, I think this was something really small. And I was right. So 1 out of 2 I got right. I said a little roach, didn't I? There's a lot of fizzing going around pretty close in. I might drag some of these rods a bit further in if I don't get much action where I am. Saying that, I'm getting loads of action where I am. It's just they're not the ones that I want. So I got a little bit confused with which order the lake's going. I was convinced that Le Lac d'Or was the first DLC lake, and I thought that was the one I'd be doing now. I completely forgot about this lake. I'm sure I'll be onto Le Lac d'Or fairly soon. I mean, at the rate I'm catching fish, I'm catching a fish every few seconds really. I'm getting a lot of takes. One of them at some point has got to be a boss. I don't think it's this one though. Although he's a nice common. £18 exactly. Biggest one yet so far. Biggest one of the session. Well, that's the second time that's happened. A fish has picked up the bait and then just spat it straight out again. So I was looking at my stats just before I started this live stream, and it says I've caught 299 boss fish. So I'm hoping at some point in this live stream I'll be able to get number 300. There we go, another take. See, it just really does not take very long at all on this lake. See, now that's what I was talking about. Rod 3, a fish picked that bait up and spat it straight back out. I left it out there and now it's going off again. A lot of people would have just reeled that in and reset it. This might be a good fish as well. Not massive, it's not taking out loads of line, but it's hanging on. Rod 2 doesn't seem to be doing very much. I had high hopes for the red maggot, which is what I've put on Rod 2, and it's just not doing anything. They don't want it. Another nice common. £16.9, I thought it was bigger than that. Right, let's get this rod back out and then I'll have a look at Rod 1. I think this was quite a small fish as well, to be fair. Yeah, another tiny little roach. The smallest one of the session, I think. So far, at least, anyway. Really doesn't take long on this lake. I think this might be another roach. You'll have noticed I haven't actually spotted any bait out at all while I've been on this lake. I just simply haven't needed to. The action just comes so quickly. That's a slightly bigger roach. £1.13. See, that one's £1.13. It looks double the size of that £1 3-ounce roach, which doesn't make any sense. £1 0 ounces. That's mental. Oh, I had it the wrong way around. The chopped worm is on Rod 2. I thought it was a red maggot on there, but it's not. So it's the chopped worm that's not really doing much. That's interesting. Alright, let's bring Rod 2 in. I'm going to change... I'll do it after this fish. I'm going to change the bait on Rod 2. I'm going to put on either the red maggot or the casters. The worm's just not really doing a lot, is it? It's just rods 1 and 3 that are going off. I really wish fishing was like this in real life. Another roach, £2.2, and yet it's smaller than that £1.13. Work that out. no doubt be another roach. Yep, £1.6. So I'm hitting the right species. It's what I'm going for, because like I said at the start of the video, I am after Bob, the roach of £3 11 ounces. Which is one of the ones I haven't actually caught yet. Right, let's stick a red maggot on there. See how that goes. See, now that I've changed it, Rod 2's starting to get some action, which is awesome. Yeah, so I was fishing with boilies the other day when I went fishing. I think it was Monday evening, right through to Tuesday evening, when I left. I was fishing with boilies and like a PVA bag setup, solid PVA bags, and it just wasn't doing it for me. I was there with my brother and his mate, and my brother's mate, like within half an hour of setting up, he was into a £16 common, and then like maybe an hour after that, a £12 common. So it was working well for him, just wasn't really working that well for me. So I thought, alright, fair enough, I know there's catfish in this lake, I'm just going to stick a big chunk of meat on and see what happens. So I hooked up with a chunk of luncheon meat, chucked it in. Still had one rod on boilies over a baited area where I'd put the PVA bag mix. And then I just sat down, started arsing about with my phone and that, just generally just passing the time, waiting for a bite. And it got to 2 AM and my rod went off, and I was round the other side of the lake at the time, just stretching my legs, having a walk about. So my brother's mate picked up my rod for me, struck into the fish. I came legging it back round, took the rod off him. And yeah, like I said, I had my first little catfish. When I say little catfish, it's no exaggeration, it was the smallest catfish I've ever seen. But still, first catfish, which makes it a personal best catfish. So I can't argue with that. Right, what have we got this time? Another little roach, £1.4. I think this one might have been a bit bigger. This might be the biggest of the session so far. Yeah, it's a lump. Oh, and it is a boss fish. It's Mr. Perfect. That's cool. I think this is one of the ones I've caught before out of here. So, well, it's not disappointing. It's still a boss fish, and it's number 300, like I mentioned earlier. Slightly disappointing that it's not one. It's one that I've caught before. It's not one of the ones that I still haven't had yet, but still can't be disappointed with 300 boss fish. That's a milestone out of the way. And another little roach to end it. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Like I normally say, I'm not bothered about subscribers. If you do want to subscribe, I'm not going to stop you, feel free. But just don't expect daily videos. I've got other commitments. I've got a full-time job. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I will see you next time.